Oh, hello there. You know, when I was a teenager, I was often accused, as most teenagers are, that I knew everything. Well, I did, and I still do. For example, Ben Carson just endorsed Donald Trump as President of the United States. I know for a fact that no one cares. And speaking of presidents not working out, I always knew that Marco Rubio would be a terrible candidate. And now, not even his giant ears can keep his campaign afloat in the air. Because his ears are so big. They're huge. Have you looked at them? You know what they say about men with giant ears. I know that the Samsung Galaxy S7 is a slick piece of Android phone. I also know that no matter how hard Samsung tries, they will always be not Apple, which you may not realize is the exact same problem that plagues every single other Android phone manufacturer, except for Blackberries. Blackberries are cool as shit. The more you know. Now let's answer some of your questions. Sam Jean asks, what is the primary cause of World War I? Well, there are a lot of socio-economical, political factors to take in consideration here. The main reason, penises, mostly. Jez asks, what would your superpower of choice be? I already have a superpower. It's called having an answer for everything. I also have this idea for a really badass superhero. Well, maybe badass is a little bit of a stretch, but this idea of this guy who people feel compelled to be honest to. And not just honest, but like oversharing honest. People see him on the street and are compelled to go up to him and tell him everything. So he has to live his life in seclusion, but if he wants to be a hero, if he wants to do good for the world, he has to go out and be inundated constantly with everybody's problems and honesty and life. It's like being able to hear everyone's inner monologue at all times, only they come up to you and actually talk to you. It's like the power of empathy, like cranked up to 1,000,000, because he has no choice but to understand where people are coming from, because they're so honest with him. Call me Marvel. Anna K. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Georgia in Eastern Europe? Georgia in Eastern Europe. Well, I can't help but think about Georgia in the USA. And when I think about Georgia in the USA, I think about the Georgia mountains. And then I think about big, beautiful, hairy Sasquatch. Bigfoot, baby. From Emily. How long would it take a person to walk around the Earth at the equator, assuming they could walk on water? The real question here is why someone would want to walk the circumference of the Earth. I mean, have they never heard of Netflix? What are they doing with their life that they have nothing else better to do than walk the circumference of the Earth? It doesn't make any sense. However, in the event of a Netflix outage, you might have some time on your hands. In which case, you would need around 8,300 hours to walk a little under 25,000 miles. And speaking of Netflix, Vicky asks, is Stephen Avery innocent? Yes, 100% innocent. Because guilt is a man-made construct invented to make sense of what is perceived as a chaotic existence. Am I guilty of eating a dozen donuts this morning when I said I was only eating a banana? Of course not, because the truth of the universe is that everything is a banana, including Stephen Avery. And if Stephen Avery is in fact a guilty banana, then I will take that dozen donuts with some Reese's Pieces and some Sour Patch Kids, just on the side there. And if you could pop in that second season of Making a Murderer, we'll be good, yeah. Stephen J. writes, sorry, I'm having a bad day. I'll pull my head in. Okay. Rob M. asks, what do you think of Stanley Kubrick's work? Oh, big fan. Stanley Kubrick's third cousin works entirely in Lego, kind of in a cubist form. Everything's very blocky and square. I like Lego. I like Stanley Kubrick. Joshua asks, how does a lightsaber turn off automatically when dropped during a fight? Gyroscopes and microprocessors. When the lightsaber senses that it's been dropped and becomes physically inactive, it automatically shuts off. Modern technology from a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. True story. Sabino asks, why do they sterilize lethal injections? So people like you can ask questions like this. It's like asking, why is there air? Thank you, Jay. Or, do you know where my umbrella is? Thank you, Lisa. There is a vast worldwide conspiracy among the highest levels of governments, churches, and Starbucks, whose sole goal is to generate mystery and intrigue over common everyday items, like umbrellas, the air we breathe, and lethal injection needles. These high levels of mystery and intrigue, as we all know, are actively fighting to combat the ozone depletion. So keep asking questions like that, Sabino, Jay, and Lisa. The world is depending on you. Also pick me up a venti caramel macchiato with soy. The world is depending on you. Sabino also asks, if I had sex with a pregnant girl, does it count as a threesome? Yes, actually. This question is from Anna M. According to the prophecy, when will I come back to YouTube? I'm actually kind of fuzzy on this because I'm not sure if the video response you create to this video will actually go up on YouTube or you're just going to post it on Facebook. What I do know is that you'll ask another question, likely in video form, so that I can use said video of you asking a question in a future video for me to respond to. Wouldn't that be neat? From Eric M. What do you think of Justin Trudeau, and who are you going to vote for? Eric, I'm in America. Florida, to make it even worse. I have an answer for everything, but no one cares about Canadian politics. That's why it's called Canadian politics. As for who I'm going to vote for, clearly it's not going to be Rubio or Carson, and definitely not Cruz. I hate that mother. Tack asks, what is the best epic battle in all of the sci-fi fandom? From the rumblings that I'm hearing, the tarmac fight sequence is going to be 15 minutes of epic, brain-draining awesome in Captain America Civil War. This is that sequence that Spider-Man was just teased in that new trailer. The point is that Marvel has spent a lot of time developing the characters of all these players across all of their movies so that the emotional payoff to this epic battle between heroes in Civil War is going to be very emotionally satisfying, as much so as visually appealing. Also, Doctor Who. Finally, Lori asked, what is your next car going to be? Excellent question. The Ford Taurus. My current car is the itty-bitty smart car. So once you've had a smart car, your next vehicle has to be at the complete other end of the spectrum. Why not a Ford Taurus? Plus, it has AC seats. It's blowing sweet, delicious, conditioned air up into your butt crack. That's all the questions I've got for today. If you want me to answer your question, just ask.